buttons pressed. Things are happening on my screen, and we're live. So, Keith, what's up with you?
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
From our chat room, keithandthegirl.com/chat. We go there every Wednesday. We play poker. You don't have to play. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of tears, a lot of fun. Here's our buddy Chris. Hello, Chris.
What's up, y'all? See you tonight. I'll be beating you all in poker.
You might have heard Chris on Diamond Dogs. He's taken over for Adam Brown. Adam has his own business. He's kind of busy. He's got kids. We go, hey, when are you hanging out, Adam? And quickly he blames us for these kids. He's like, I have 2 children. I'm busy. I'm like, I didn't have the children. All right. But anyway, we needed somebody to take his place. And this is my new best friend, Chris.
And I like this rule. After I leave, after March 7th, only childless people on the show.
That's right.
We get that you don't have time as a parent. You're busy. Your whole schedule is full. So anyone who made other decisions in their life is now welcome.
Chris, it really does make everything easier as a childless person. It's
right?
Like, I'm having friends that are having babies now, and I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds hard. Like, we can't get together, and it's pretty much your fault, your choices.
I mentioned to Chris, I like when Chris has a hangover and he calls me and he tells me, and I'm like, as a non-drinker, that feels good to know. That's how I feel about parents with kids. And I go, tell me what you did today. And I just giggle.
I know, as a woman, everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna miss out," and as soon as those eggs dry up, you're gonna start feeling so bad. And I'm like, I have nephews. I know the deal. I could visit children. We're good.
Yeah, tell me about the holidays. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris works in the education field. He trains teachers how to use technology in the classroom, and that's everything I know about him. And that's all I care, quite frankly.
But that just means he's around people who probably behave like children. Because no matter how old you are. Yeah.
I get to pull boomers kicking and screaming into the 21st century every day. But yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. That is so fun.
It's the funny thing with technology, because it's like you hear about the iPad generations and stuff now, and it's like I, as the anointed millennial, got to live on the cusp of technologies emerging and becoming big. So we had to kind of know how to use it in order to use it. We had to know how it worked in order to use it. And then you had this generation before that didn't have all that context and was like, I don't get all this digital stuff. But then it's like the generation after, you don't think about it. You think these kids are supposed to be so technology geniuses, but it's like, no, they're the iPad. Everything was a button. Everything was it's instant, it's easy, it's UI'd out to the extreme. And so they don't know what anything is. They don't know what a file system is. They don't know all these basic things. So,
right. I remember even talking to a millennial, and I'm like, if you look at the URL and you change one number in there, it's a different address. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like you said, for us, we had to change the clock time on the VCR, and that was heavy technology. So when you talk to boomers, they don't even want to look at the VCR. But when you talk to people younger than us, they don't know how to turn on the VCR, because unless you can swipe or do the motion that they were born and raised with, it's extra level technology. So unless it just works, the new generation doesn't know. It's like asking them to fix a refrigerator. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know the behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, I remember changing a report card, by pen from a D to a B. And of course you get busted. But now the kids can just hack the system, change it from a D to a B. And the teacher's like, I don't want to embarrass myself. I guess I did that. So it's a whole new world is my point. And I see what's happening. Chris works.
Craig, I'm sorry, is here in the chat, and he's one of the Diamond Dogs. And he's chiming in saying, Keith didn't understand any of those words. So now we all understood the blank stare on Keith's face. So Craig will be describing what Keith is actually saying and feeling.
Well, it's funny because I did invite Craig to this too, and he couldn't make it. So it's good to see he's in chat. Yeah, that's interesting.
And to your credit, Keith, you got me that link straight away to join this. Like, you did a good job.
Thank you. He's a little Diamond Dog complainer. This fucking Craig. Thank God he's not really here. We have our little chat room now. Me, Chris, Craig, and I mentioned this on last week on Keith and the Girl, but this is the Chris we're talking about, where Chris texted, my wife heard me recording another voice message, and she said, why do you all bully Craig? And I said, no, we're bullying Keith today. And she said, oh, let me know when they bully you. I want in. I think we enjoy Chris's wife.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's a lot of
she
fun.
100%. That
What
we both say that our love language is roasting. So it's we roast the ones we love.
we're only having you on so it won't be weird when we have your wife on out of nowhere.
Right.
So this is
Okay,
just
that's why she asked
context.
me about next week's schedule. That makes sense now.
That also, people are speculating, now we're talking about your wife, and I imagine looking in the background of your video, you see what looks like sad dad bed, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you fucked up and you got to go sleep on the bed on the floor. So here's what people are saying, looking at your camera. Um, would you rather be able to use technology or have your bed on a frame? Um, that was pizza. Nicole J is saying could be the guest room, so she's being nice. Um, and then Pizza
Well,
says, "Oh, Pizza snaps back. Even better, Nicole J. Have your guests sleep on the floor." My God. Also, David Rex is chiming in. I was homeschooled when I got caught cheating. That shit was tough.
I even signed the report card like initials of my teacher, so like as if that's what a teacher does. Like when it looks sloppy, I sign it. So you try to convince your mom, like, no, mom, that's your initials. Remember?
well, it's funny because nowadays, like it's almost happening with the parents because everything is online, like grading systems and stuff. And so teachers will post their grades and a parent can go in and check that at any time. Not that they do. So they'll come to a parent meeting. Why didn't you ever,
Mm.
tell me about this? Well, that everything's online, you can check it. I do. Well, they don't realize that on the teacher's end, they can see when parents have actually gone in and checked the grades. It's like,
Right.
no, you haven't looked at the grades since
Ooh.
August. Like, so it's like we got the receipts on you now. Like, so
So now
yeah,
parents are getting caught not doing their homework. But I got to
yep.
tell you something. I've seen some of these emails and information that parents are getting now that the teachers have access to email and text and things like that. You're getting so much information. You're getting a lot, and I could see skipping it. Like you're getting information like, here's everything your child is doing all week, and it's like, and also what other kids are doing. It's like, okay, I think I might have missed something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your kid's a liar in class. I don't know where he got it from. Anyways, if we could somehow curb that behavior.
yes, but I'm in my second guest situation because I live in a place where I can have all these different spaces and I just never roll up the floor bed.
Yeah,
So
Chris
you're
is
welcome,
just
everyone.
showing off. Chris is going like, how you, because here's what we have to do. If I want to do my yoga mat routine, I move the dining table, LOL. It's the table in the kitchen. I move the dining
Yeah, New
table.
York City, you have a dining table? Holy shit. What man? Tell me about this mansion. Is Oscar Pistorius staying there with you? Holy hell.
Okay, but logistical question, Hamda, do you also move the tissues off the floor next to the dining table too, or do you just leave those for yoga?
You know what? I have sections of my morning, and that's a different 15 minutes. So thanks.
Okay. Procrastination minute. I hear. Let me hydrate.
Thanks for understanding. Hydration Nation, always time for water.
When you
Oh,
don't
now that's
live
a nation I can get behind.
when you don't
Mm.
live in a New York City apartment, you can have a room just for Wednesday poker. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We don't even have a separate room for sleeping. Chris is like, here's just a bed that I can have in any room.
Oh, yeah. I was watching TV today. I think that was in my dining room / living room.
Well, it's funny because in our chat, Keith likes to make funny videos like him taking a bunch of acid at 11 at night. But the other day he did one. I was like, I think in this pan of this video, I saw everything in his house. Like,
Today I saw the new Marvel TV show Echo. Do you get into these shitty shows, Chris?
I'm
Wow, thanks for
trying.
leading the witness. Hey, Chris, you ever act dumb and waste your whole afternoon and then say you like it? Chris,
Uh,
and you want to chime in on this totally unbiased opinion?
Unfortunately, I do, but I haven't seen this one. But what's funny about Echo to me is that in all this like playoff football and like NFL stuff, they keep showing all these commercials for Echo. I'm like, is this what football people are into? Is Disney's Echo? Like, you're really
It
gonna
is.
convince me?
Well, they're saying it's very violent. In fact, it's
Okay.
the first Marvel show that's TVMA, which is relatable to an R movie, which means it's for people 17 years of age or older. So I'm like, all right, let's see this. This is going to be a very violent. I can't tell if this show blows or if it sucks. It's not for people under 17 years old because it's so much talk and they'd be bored shitless. Daredevil, it's a Daredevil kind of spinoff. Kingpin's in it. Daredevil is only in there once in the first episode as kind of a flashback. Whoever does Daredevil's fighting scenes does an excellent job. But other than that, it's all talking. It's all Kingpin talks. In my day, Kingpin threw you across the room with one hand. He's from the Bronx. He's tough. But I swear to God, I don't all this fucking yapping and I don't know. I don't care. I thought it'd just be regular people fighting as opposed to superpowers. There's some kind of story about Native American superpowers, and
Don't get into depth with me, fuckface. I'm looking at characters called Daredevil and
there's no
Kingpin.
there's
Let's
no
stay
depth.
shallow, asshole. Just
That's how
because it's mature doesn't mean
Panda.
your content has to be. Just yell fuck every once in a while. Show me a couple boobs. And now we got mature. We don't have to be deep and mature. Am I right, folks? Am
I think
getting
as
it?
a putt, I think Kendra should have to watch the show now.
Oh no. Oh no, no,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh no,
Well,
no,
you have
no.
to study these different cultures now. Like Moon Knight was like a very Egyptian based.
Yes.
Echo has like this Native American stuff. Aquaman, you have to know about the lost city of Atlantis. Like it's it's getting too much.
Right. Just tell me to look at a map. Come on. Stop it. And they act like it's its own thing, meaning you don't have to see all this other Marvel stuff. You do though. You have to see Hawkeye the TV show because that's where this woman comes from. You fucking liars. Oh God, this disease I have. Somebody
And
was
you
telling
saw
me
that one?
I saw everything. Somebody was telling me about lupus, and I'm like, you don't know the disease I have. I have to see every superhero bullshit ever made. You just have trouble walking sometimes.
He has to get open heart just to remove this out of his soul. Like he
Oh,
can't. This is quite the disease. They don't have a cure for that. There's no pill for this.
it's too
You're just
much.
in it.
And I had
Yeah.
to watch it alone. I was watching it with somebody. They happened to be in Mexico, and they're like, "Oh, my internet keeps cutting out." And I go, "Oh, we'll try it later." And they're like, "No, that's what happens in Mexico. Bad infrastructure, and you keep losing the internet." This would be my problem. Keith, why don't you leave your apartment? Why don't you I'm never moving anywhere. I have everything set up just so. All of a sudden, I'm going to go to a new country because the weather's beautiful. And they're like, "Oh, we didn't tell you. We don't have internet." Oh, you didn't know that? I'm reading that in Ireland, they closed the airports in Dublin, some other places on Christmas Day so that they can bless the airplanes. This would be something I wouldn't even know to look up. Well, we're not open today, weirdo. We're blessing airplanes. What's wrong with you?
In Israel, on certain days you have like memorial times and they will stop all of Israel. Cars are stopped, everything, and there is a moment for just that memory for yeah, for probably all the wars they have to go through.
Instead of taking a day off, the airport
They
authorities
get to go through, excuse me.
they start blessing the planes. It's a festive blessing from God. The annual blessing ceremony dated back to 1947.
Do they have to like change the wine on the plane that day to like blessed wine? Does it have anything to do with the crackers of Jesus? Do
They
you
serve
Father,
holy
Son, and
water. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they used to bless all the planes like one by one, but it started taking too long because these airports started getting too popular. So now they just do a general blessing from the runway, which is funny to me that the airport manager goes, "Hey, priest, you can do it from there. Trust me." And they're like,
Right.
"No, we have to do it plane by plane." I bet you don't. So
I
if you
think
want to
that's
do
funny.
it,
This is like the head nodding of blessings.
Keith,
yes.
did I miss the part about are these planes getting gay married or is
There can't be gay people on the plane.
Oh, they can give a blessing now, Keith. That's the point.
Right. They just can't
But
have a wedding from the government that same day.
right.
That
But
confuses God.
to your point, Hamda, I used to actually live and work in Japan, and that's why I have this is actually like a Japanese style lay it on the floor
Whatever you
bed
want to
for
tell
all your
yourself.
people, bed frame, okay. But they do that same thing and they literally play like a siren noise at the time that the atomic bombs were dropped, like at those two times. And when I
Mm.
first arrived there, it's like in the summer and it's like at that time of the year around that time. And it just started going off and everybody's just standing up and stopping. And I'm like, what's happening? I guess this is what we're doing now. And then
Oh
I
my
felt
God, were
really
you, if you could, if you, I I know you're so respectful, but I just picture you being like, "What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Is there somewhere I need to be?" Just like yelling on top of their silence. I know you didn't do that, but it's just what I'm
He
picturing.
said, "Is this Godzilla shit?"
Yeah.
Is Godzilla real? Is that what's happening?
Well, I did feel really bad. I was like, I should know what this is because it was like my people that did this.
Right.
It was like the extra white guilt of like, oh fuck, I didn't even know this was happening, and now it was all our fault, you know.
Are they looking at you funny? Like, hey, asshole.
The average person no, but like I did work in schools there and like young kids. Like I remember one time it was like I was first meeting a class and a kid asked like, "Why did you kill us?" Like you, like,
Mm.
and,
Ooh.
and it was like they were still like an interpreter there, and he was like, they it's about the war." They were like
Ooh.
trying not to tell me like the full thing, and then later I was like, I want to know like what they said, and it was like they said this, and I was like, oh God.
Would you, does anyone have an answer?
But
I
hopefully
really didn't.
now they can see the movie Oppenheimer and be like, "Hey, we didn't even know what we were building. The ramifications."
The teams couldn't talk to each other, so
Right.
you know. Well, no, at the time the I didn't really wasn't fully like his he just wasn't fully translating at that time, but he told me later what he told them, which was like, well, you know, war is terrible, and then you know, think about on his side, like his family could have fought in the war, and like Japanese people could have killed his grandfather, you know, so like it's just terrible for everyone, you know, basically like he kind of just explained like war is bad kind of thing.
I love that. And as he's talking, you have to decide what kind of expression on your face you're going to have, completely not understanding that they're talking about potentially grandfathers killing each other. Hi, nice to see you.
Yep, got to do a lot of token standing and smiling living there.
Mm.
I could see my dad blessing these planes, really getting the hard on over it. Like it's like you got to take off Boxing Day for my dad because he would go so slow blessing plane by plane. Oh, I've seen my dad get fucked up because he used to be a priest and then he had to start all of a sudden changing diapers. Why not, by the way, why not bless my asshole so I don't shit so much? Wonder if he tried different blessings, see what kind of power he has.
I think that's what he told your mom that happened because she's like, hey, this one needs a change. And he's like, that can't be
He
actually.
does the cross slowly over my ass.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
should do it. And she's like, all right, I'll change it. Fuck it.
Yeah. How many diapers do you think your dad actually changed?
Right.
He
Oh,
waved his hand and went, you got it from here?
speaking of the chat room, Liz, who shows up fairly weekly, works as some kind of investigator, some kind of detective for lawyers, and sent me my dad's latest address. So my
Next
dad's
level.
getting my dad's getting an email book. Let me tell you something. Between Liz and you got Mallory that just sent me those news articles, our chat room really is like an FBI TV show.
Yeah, Matthew has the timeline of your dad's
Oh
lies.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, don't come in there one night and just start saying something because people will fact check you. Let me tell you.
That's right.
Some people have the wiki wide open the whole time.
So the dad emails will go out if you support the Kickstarter in about 2 weeks. The dad email books, and I'm very excited. I happened to come across some kind of article about therapy speak, and I want to see if I'm using these words like gaslighting and narcissist correctly. So I gave it a quick skim, and I see that. By the way, of course, my dad was gaslighting me. He when we were kids, he put on that black and white movie called Gaslight, where the term ended up coming from decades ago, and he said how clever the bad guy was to gaslight his wife.
He's getting ideas.
Yeah, he's like that's pretty smart. I'm pretty impressed by that guy. No, I don't think we're supposed to like him at all.
Whoa.
But
Well,
Wow.
I think it'd be funny going back to the blessings if he would put out an ad in the newspaper like, you know, I'll be at the mall and I'll be blessing all shoe sales today. You just come by and see Father Malley and his magnanimous, miraculous blessing.
That
like
would actually be a really good ad. I feel like he only did dumb ones, so you're off by his
right.
brand, but pretty good.
If you feel like somebody, this is the article. If you feel like someone constantly mocks your ability to remember what happened, that's true. Thinks your friends have bad intentions, that's true. Anytime I had some kind of attitude, it was kind of his fault. as if their feelings matter more than yours. You might be experiencing, or acts as if their feelings are more important than yours. That's true. You might be experiencing gaslighting. Absolutely. And trying to change the past or make me think that I don't have some kind of memory of what happened. He would say, you know what? Get a video camera, tape our conversations, and then we'll respond to that. I was like 18 years old. I got a video camera. I go, I'm going to get the video camera. He goes, go get it. I start setting it up. He goes, I won't do that. I won't talk in it. I'm like, no, come on. This will be great. And he goes, I don't know how that can be edited. I'm like, I'm not going to send it to CNN. Oh, it's going to be edited. You fucking weirdo.
Another thing he
Meanwhile, let
didn't
me
understand about his son, he's not going to do extra
Right.
work.
Yeah, and meanwhile, let me participate in this gold article, and have everyone interviewed, including my son.
Right.
I also like how that article was written by Jeff Foxworthy, apparently. If you have been deceived about your thoughts and led to believe that your friends are bad for you, you might be getting gaslit.
Your dad might have been a priest. And I remember when I was young, I assume this is everybody, right? I thought narcissist, I didn't know it'd ever be like a real technical therapy like word, that it really is like the worst of a person. 1 to 2% of people are true narcissists. And I'm reading here, there's 3 kinds of narcissists.
I feel like people use narcissists right now so often, and I think they're misusing it. I think
Yeah.
what they mean is egomania, where you're just speaking from your ego, you're responding from your ego. A narcissist is so much more deliberate. It's so much more of a psychosis. It's so much more of like an actual brain way to function.
Right.
Or
Well,
just someone being selfish. It's like, oh, they're a total
Right.
narcissist. It's like
Right.
maybe they are just being selfish about this, Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
but with that said, there are 3 types of narcissists, each describing a narcissist's MO to feeling special. There's overt, covert, and communal. Communal. Communal? Communal? You're an educator.
Communal, I think, is correct.
Overt narcissists cope by, that's why I like Chris. Overt narcissists cope by feeling superior to others. So around them, you may feel like you'll always be less than in the other person's eyes. Covert narcissists, on the other hand, feel special when they are seen as the person who suffers the most, and their struggles will always overshadow yours. Then there's communal narcissists who like being perceived as the most altruistic person in a group. It says on the other hand this, and on the other hand that. My dad's 3 people in one. Like
He
the
really
Holy
is a
Trinity.
priest.
He's all 3 of these. I didn't know you can do that. All right.
Well,
Well,
Keith, did you ever think to ask him what type of narcissist he is? You
just
can just
ask.
ask. Yeah.
I would have been happy to tell you. Hi, Keith and Chemda. As a listener from the very beginning on my first generation iPod, and
Wow.
as having the first second generation listener, Alicia, and as having a Keith and the Girl tattoo, I was completely shocked to hear the show will be changing, as I've known it for 19 years.
Is this Amanda?
This is Amanda.
Yes.
It's nice to hear all the emails coming
Ding.
in.
Yes,
that?
because yes,
Ding.
we met Amanda, we met her daughter,
Mhm.
we met both partners. I mean, this is like a history with this person of I think we met her in Atlanta
Yep.
15 years ago or so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear all the emails coming in about how the show, and specifically Chemda, has changed so many people's lives and how they're going to miss her so much. I have great news for you, listeners. She writes, you don't have to miss her. Come on over to OMAT Club and have access to Chemda like you haven't before. I've been part of OMAT, 1 minute at a time it stands for, from the beginning, and it is Chemda in her element. We meet at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday for 15 minutes with a 5-minute after party to chat. In the 15 minutes, we do 8 1-minute exercises that are guided by Chemda. Starting the day with this routine gives it intention and the tools to use throughout the day as challenges come up. She also brings the funny, like during the plank. She lovingly yells at you that if you drop, you'll be in hot lava. Oh my goodness, a lot of pressure. Yes, the show will be changing without Chemda, and I know Keith will continue to make Keith and the Girl great. And you're not losing Chemda. Join the Omatadors and not only keep Chemda in your daily life. Yeah, you talked to her about Hydration Nation just now. Set up your day for the W. I know I sound like a walking billboard, so meet us there and check it out for yourself. I'm sure she gives a free trial. Well, with that attitude, I guess she has to now. Peace, love, and Keith and the Girl always will be Chemda, Amanda. All right.
That
Look at
is
that.
so sweet. And yeah, she's been coming on a regular basis. That's really nice. Chris has been in there for a little while. Um, right now, we're giving it for free as we work out some of the back ends with some surprises coming. So we'll see.
Ooh,
That's
ooh.
awesome to hear. I actually, I was going for a while. There was some times that worked for me, and now that I'm a little bit working and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Though I think I should be able to go, hey, this is 15 minutes of this is when my break is. This is my, everybody, I'm not religious. I don't, but like if this is something that adds value to your life, like I think it's a more than reasonable accommodation to go, hey, I need 15 minutes to go listen to this right now. So do that.
Yeah, and I
And
don't
I'm
want to
talking to
jinx it,
myself
but
too.
yeah, for 3 years, we've been exactly on time, 10 a.m. Eastern, and exactly closing 10:15. So you can bet on it. You can rely on it. Yeah, so that's the issue is, having more than just a 10 a.m. So I'm hoping to zhuzh that up in the near future.
What's the best way to check it out?
Right now, keysandthegirl.com/OMAT
Also in
is
your
just a
VIP
little bit of
package,
information there. Yeah.
also under VIP, there's she walks you through each step.
Oh, I'm
That's still
taking
there,
that
right?
down for the new version. So last chance.
That's
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Taking it down. Fuck off. All
I
right.
meant to send you an email about that, Keith.
Okay. Why are you taking it down?
Just re-zhuzhing it. It'll come up somewhere else in a different way.
Wow, you really are
Yeah.
Quinn, right? Who gives a shit? You're over there saying that. All right. But
Keith,
yeah, of course you
zhuzh is a new word in the dictionary. I don't know if you
Mm.
saw that, but it is.
no, of course you need OMAT. The whole world's fucking nuts. Two more suspects, one for stabbing a Bronx strap hanger, somebody on the subway, who wished them a happy new year, has been arrested. An 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, turned themselves in after finding out that their two friends who were also there, a 19-year-old and another 19-year-old, they were nabbed. They were caught stabbing a guy on the subway, 29 years old, because that guy said Happy New Year. Now, it doesn't say if he said it condescendingly as he passed them, but yeah, I wouldn't. I live in New York City. What are you wishing people Happy New Year for? Mind your business.
Yeah, whatever they say to you, it's always and also with you. So
Right.
you walk on the train, somebody goes, fuck you, and also with you. And then
Right.
you change cars, like be a New Yorker about it, be a little smart, but yeah. You don't volunteer having anything.
Right.
Just
Don't tell me
just
what to have.
looks like it's your day. So if you're having one, I guess, but I'm not gonna tell you to have anything.
They said, "What's this toxic positivity bullshit?" and started stabbing the person. 8:45 p.m. So
They
not a
said, I
crazy
hope
hour.
you have a happy new year, and I wish all the best for you and the best potential year you can have.
And
And
then
they're
they
like,
went
"Oh
with
my
plot
god,
on
can't I just live? Like I'm don't oh now I have to have the best day for you. Stab, stab, stab."
I think they went into villain mode, like old school 80s, where it like, practically twisting your muscle, where they're going like, are you having a good day now? Is this the kind of day you want me
Mhm.
to have? It's like, all right, someone is triggered.
There was a
That's what I was
3 minute.
gonna say.
There
It's
was
the
a
fight
three.
is never
Good.
about the fight. So it could have been Happy New Year. It could have been nothing. That person was stabbing someone that day. Like, let's be honest.
Oh
But
yeah,
don't
yeah.
wave your hands and say
Don't
I'm
be the
over here.
target. Yeah.
Right. Mind your
If it's
fucking business.
hysterical, it's historical.
It was a 3 minute long beatdown in which one of the suspects pulled out a knife, swung it around. The victim was stabbed in the neck, upper torso, and lower torso multiple times.
Oof.
The attackers fled, but they have him on camera. He went to surgery for 7 total stab wounds, including a punctured wound to his heart and lungs.
Oh my God. It's not that easy, I imagine, to stab someone.
I,
It's it
like,
when
I guess when you beat him for 3 minutes, maybe it gets easier.
oof.
Keith's cooking dinner and he stabs himself somehow. So you
Yeah, it's
can't be
not
that
hard.
hard either. Yeah.
It's not that
Okay.
hard. He was intensive care and fighting for his life. Conditions have improved, but he was still hospitalized over a week after the attack. Um, man, no, I don't bother anybody here in New York City. I walk down the street, I just apologize to everybody I pass. I
make
walk
the
around and I start crying. I read a story where the smell of tears makes men less aggressive. I'm like, I just cry whenever I cry at home. I splash it on my face. I go to the store.
You carry a little bit of onion in your pocket, and that
Yes.
helps you get you going. But you
Yeah.
say New York, but it's funny. Like just this week, I'm in Austin, Texas, and there on our subreddit, somebody posted this story about somebody in the park was macheteing people. And then this is the fun thing about Reddit. Like somebody in the comments was like, "Yeah, I was there, and like I saw this person like macheteing someone, and I was like." Fucking stop, I'm gonna call the cops. And then they turned around and started chasing me and my dog, so then this person had to run like until this person could stop chasing them, and then get the cops on the phone, and the person was apprehended. But it's like, what kind of nuts? Like, what do you do? I mean, I get you have to try to stop it, right? Like, if you're a good person, but then they're
right.
gonna come for you. Like, what do you do?
Right.
I don't know. I sometimes make the mistake of talking to people when I'm on the bike because for a lot of it it's just like, hey, I'm about to hit you, so I gotta like be loud and aggressive sounding, you know. But sometimes I'm like, let me just try to be a person about it. I have the time. So this guy was just in the way on his phone, standing in the bike lane with a bike, but if he pulled over one way or another, we can all just slide through. But instead, we have to be so as I'm sliding through, I could actually bike through, but I have to slow down. I'm like, come on, dude, move over a little bit. And he goes, shut up. And I'm like, okay, fair. Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting. What? Oh, I didn't think of that. Thank you, ma'am. Excuse me.
Right.
I was so busy texting my wife that no.
Yeah. I hear a my bad. I think it's sarcastic and I move on. Men are less aggressive after smelling women's tears, according to a study. The
Specifically women's tears?
I'll get into it. The research carried out by the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel, and Israel wins all the Nobel Prizes. I mean, for science, not for peace. But anyways, you do have to believe they know what they're talking about. They found that human tears contain a chemical signal that reduces activity in two aggression-related brain regions.
So it
Uh,
reduces men. I've seen this happen. It reduces men to staring.
it's,
It's
well,
it is just magical. It's like I think this is what you actually mean by holy water.
the researchers hypothesized that the tears don't need to come from a woman to have a similar effect. Previous studies found rodents found that female mouse tears reduced fighting among male mice, and male mole rats smear themselves with their own tears to avoid being attacked by alpha mice. Scientists said other research also shows that sniffing tears reduces testosterone. So that's
So
why I think they're talking about gender.
the scientist said, "I'll give you a reason to cry." Thank you,
After
Chris, who's been around a lot of children and probably that phrase very much a lot.
We're not allowed to say that in education anymore. Um, but I think it's interesting that they say they don't have to be women's tears, but they still used female mice tears. And I have a lot of questions about this because, like, do you often have a vial? Like, is a person's normal crying amount enough to sniff it, or does it have to be like a whole bunch of tears in a thing that I'm
Well,
sniffing?
I'll
Like,
tell you. I'll tell you that answer. But as for the women part, when researchers sought volunteers for the study, mostly women raised their hands because, quote, because for them it's much more socially acceptable to cry. So I think it sounds like that's why they're saying about human women. But when it comes to animals, it does seem specific about females.
I see. So they couldn't get enough volunteers with you people.
Right. They also want a clever headline. So, it's
Right.
very interesting,
Right.
women, and it comes down men. After collecting tears from 6 female volunteers who watched sad films, how do you collect them?
Oh my God.
Research.
What films do you decide on? I want that list. Are you kidding me? Oh, and I know a lot of people relate to this. There have been times where I'm like, I'm overdue. I gotta cry soon. And I'm like, all right, time to get it going. Time to what is it called? Bring it up. So I'm like, what movie? What movie? And sometimes you watch a movie long enough to cry, and you're like, well, this movie expired for me. I want that list. That is the right experiment. What are the top 10 movies that make you cry for an experiment about crying? You got to do it. You got to do it quick. What am I watching?
Watch Echo and then think about how you could have done anything in your life for 3 hours instead.
Oh my goodness.
After
well, I think
collecting,
it's interesting that they use like tears from a sad movie, and I'm like, I want to see the study of like, are there differences between pain tears and
Mm,
like sad tears? You know, like do they
right.
have more
Oh, you're
evil in them?
so interested in female emotions, Chris. My God.
I saw Barbie. Okay, I did. I watched it.
After collecting tears from 6 female volunteers who watched sad films, researchers exposed dozens of men to the tears or a saline liquid. They couldn't distinguish between the substances since both are clear and odorless. The men then played a computer game used in other aggression studies, with players collecting money that their opponent attempts to steal from them. Players can get revenge and make their opponent lose money, even though they won't gain more money for themselves. After smelling the woman's tears, the men's desire to seek revenge fell 43.7%.
That's huge.
The results are similar to study findings involving rodents, but unlike rodents, humans don't have a structure in their noses that detect odorless chemical signals. The researchers dug deeper by studying 62 olfactory receptors, which play a key role in the sense of smell, finding that 4 were activated by tears, not by saline. They also hooked study participants to MRI machines and noted that after smelling tears, the areas of the brain linked to aggression, the prefrontal cortex and the anterior insula, were less active. Scientists believe that the substance of tears may have evolved to protect babies from harm.
Oh, because
Mm.
babies are annoying to people when they cry, so they had to develop something that said like,
That
"You
don't
don't
hit
want to
them.
kill me." I
Right.
mean, that's why babies are cute, right? Because otherwise you would just kill them left and right. It's
Yeah.
just come, you want something again, and I have to do it. That's harsh.
They're literally like nature's alarm clock, and what does everyone like do is like smash their alarm clock, and maybe they should make these things cry, and then
We have evolved. Ooh, and people are chiming in for which movie makes them cry. There's a lot of beaches.
Okay.
Um, there's Shawshank, which I've seen several times. I don't think one time it made me cry, which is interesting, right? There's death, there's ooh,
I think
the
I
the
did at the
rapes.
end, like when they show like
When
the
he's swimming
real.
through shit, I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Schindler's List, not
Oh,
Shawshank.
okay.
I'm thinking of the end of Schindler's List.
I never saw Schindler's List. But oh, Never-Ending Story. Okay. I don't think I cried at that.
The beginning
Wow.
of Up is like one that a lot of
Sure.
people
Oh,
would say
oh,
destroyed them. Yeah.
yes. I haven't watched Up since. There's some movies where I'm like, whatever I just experienced, it will never be duplicated and I have to leave it there. But I feel like watching Up might be a good idea to watch again. What an amazing movie. I hope it holds up. Maybe I shouldn't watch it just in case even one scene doesn't hold up because it was such magic.
Oh yeah, the old guy when he's talking to the dog, he uses the N word a lot. But at the time, it was a different time, and you're like, all right, I guess he's old, But now there's no excuse. There really isn't. I'm reading here former CNN host Don Lemon, who I was saying, where was he on New Year's Eve? Because never mind those two drunks that were hosting on CNN. This Don Lemon, he was the king. He was the king of he's slurring, he's crawling on the ground of New Orleans. Everything's making him cry because he's so drunk. Like, here we make ribs over here at this store, and he just starts bawling. It's so fucking beautiful. And I like, what happened to him? Well, he was on CNN and his departure came shortly after his assertion that female Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley, at age 51, was no longer in her quote prime. And I remember Don Lemon going, "Well, just Google about when women are in their prime, and you'll see." Meanwhile, the internet is immediate, so when you type that in, it comes in Don Lemon, piece of shit, and so they go, "You're fired." I have to assume there was more behind the scenes, but supposedly they had to let him go because of that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like a lot of times, I think it's like the doubling down that gets these people. Like
Yes.
the initial thing was probably like people were like, "Hey, don't say that," but then he's like, "Google about women," and it's like, "Okay, dude, you're saying way too much now."
Yeah.
I remember like the
What he
Whoopi
goes, he did.
Goldberg,
Sorry, he did go like what? Like what? What I say? Instead, just say I misspoke and don't explain.
right? It's like going back to Reddit, like all these weirdos that go and post in there, and then everything's getting downvoted, and somehow they probably go on thinking they're still right. It's like everyone
Right.
said you're wrong. Like think about it. Like, but yeah, like Whoopi Goldberg when she was like, "Oh, the Holocaust wasn't a thing. And then they're like, okay, Whoopi, like, come on. And then she's like, no, I'm double. And then it's like, well, now we have to, because we could have given you an out, but
Right.
you doubled down even more. Like,
I'm just saying it wasn't about racism.
Uh,
What am I saying? Oh, okay, Whoopi. Okay.
it was more ethnic cleansing, you know?
Former CNN host Don Lemon is returning, though, to the public eye. He's joining Elon Musk's social media platform X, saying it's the biggest space for free speech in the world. So this guy from CNN is joining, what used to be Twitter, X, where all these people go now. Like he's joining ex Fox News host Tucker Carlson on X, and they're not even saying like, "Oh, I got fired and I got to take what I can get." They're saying, "Finally, free speech." It's weird. It's some right wing weird shit. If you
And
ask
it
me,
just came out that for zero reason, a bunch of journalists and like left leaning like activists on X were just deleted their account. Like no rules violation, no nothing, just like all of a sudden it's gone, you know.
wait, their accounts were deleted or they
Deleted.
deleted?
No, they were deleted by
Wow,
the platform, or I'm sure they're going to say it's a glitch or something. But
sure.
yeah, that just came out that like all these people are like, we're literally being silenced on this free speech platform.
Yeah. Don Lemon says, "I've heard you. And today I'm back," he said. No, you heard me say I want to see you drunk on New Year's Eve at 2 a.m. That's what I wanted. He said, "I'm back, bigger, bolder, freer. Now I could tell you who's really past their prime, these chicks. Wait till I tell you my... Oh, my God.
But what do you think of the fact that this is really how people think?
Like what?
This is really how people think. Whatever he's about to say is actually the truth from a lot of men, from a lot of humans, from a lot of Americans. And it's like part of me goes like, good, go ahead and say it. Free speech. Let's see what free speech looks like on you. But then the other half of me is going like, well, you're just co-signing a lot of people's anger. So this seems a little dangerous.
I hope it's his show is like a beauty contest, but he's real mean.
Like I had a similar conversation with a friend because like there was a professor, like a tenured professor that said some kind of out there stuff. Like it was racist, like at the end of the day.
Right.
And so they got fired or whatever. And you know, he was kind of the opinion of like, well, tenure exists so that controversial ideas can be out there, and like we should, you know, allow for like the idea of like have this open forum, and if the idea is bad, it won't stand and we can have the conversation. Well, one, you're creating these platforms and not actually having it as an open, you know, they're saying you're canceling us, you're silencing us, when we're just going, no, we're disagreeing and that's a bad idea because this, you know.
Right.
And two, like it's like that idea of the tolerance paradox of like you can't tolerate certain ideas because simply tolerating it allows for like dismantles everything. You know, when you tolerate hate, you destroy the foundation of everything else, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really tough one. I remember on Gilmore Girls,
Mm.
they were in college and in the Yale paper, and Paris wanted to do an article about tenure, but she wanted to do one page pro and one page con because and I think they were saying so Gilmore Girls always says something, you know. So I think they were saying like there's so much good in this. And the intention of this idea is so good. It protects the person that needs protection, you know, the teachers, the professors, the people who are passing on the good information. And on the other hand, it's, you know, people change every 5 years, every 10 years. People get stuck in a way of thinking like they need to be progressive. There has to be some sort of caveat to you never, ever, ever, ever losing your job. Like even parents with children, that's not your job forever either. You're my mom and dad, but you're not going to mommy and daddy me for the rest of my life. Even that evolves. So how do you put a caveat if you don't evolve? If the information is not new, I don't know.
I
Once
do.
again, Keith
If
is
you
very interested.
if you end up saying I'm pretty simple over here. If you end up as a professor saying does it really matter if a woman was raped if she can't feel it? Then you're out. So there could be like a list of dumb fucking shit you say. Where maybe you get fired. That's what's funny about free speech. These people could do free speech, but they don't seem to like it when you free speech back.
Right.
You know?
Well, and they don't even understand like where are they getting free speech? Okay, I guess the First Amendment, which is just about how much the government can pursue you over your speech. It has nothing to do with how much your college can fire you or how much someone on the street can say that's a stupid idea or anything,
That's
like
the thing. They also have free speech. So I can say this is an asshole and they can say you're an asshole and we're both in free speech, but you can't come at me say like when I say you're an asshole and you come back saying you're an asshole, I go, no, I get to say that free speech. Yes, we're all exercising this by talking.
I
You
like that
can't, yeah.
I like that Don Lemon thinks he's gonna get somehow not a lot of attitude back by going from CNN where you had to send an email or call an 800 number to Twitter where I can just rate you directly on the shitter.
yeah.
You don't think you're gonna get more pushback now? Okay.
Bucho is saying, my grandma always said, when life gives you Don Lemon, make lemonade. And by lemonade, she means deleting your Twitter account.
Lemon said in April that he was stunned after losing his job with the cable news network where he spent 17 years. He claimed at the time he didn't see the termination coming. However, CNN accused the veteran reporter of choosing to release I remember this. The reporter chose to release a statement on social media rather than meeting with management. Management said, I think we have to let you go over what you're saying. Come in for a meeting. And he went right on Twitter and started being like, these motherfuckers. Well, now you're gone because you have to be.
Well, clearly that's just proof that he thinks he's untouchable.
Right. He follows rival and former Fox News primetime host Tucker Carlson and leaving the respective networks to join X.
Why?
Carlson,
Because when you get canceled, you get a better job next time.
he announced his Carlson announced his leap to social media in May and praised X for promoting quote free speech. I know now more than ever we need a place for honest debate and discussion without the hall monitors. Lemon added.
We have so many platforms
Right.
now more than ever. When is ever? They got to start putting dates on when is ever. When was America so great that we're going to make it better than that? That it's not better yet. Like what is happening that you could just say back in my day, name a date. What is that?
Back
Then the
in my
article
day,
ends.
we could freely burn witches at the stake,
Right,
and no one gave us crap about it.
Oh shit, she didn't float. Fuck. The article ends with Twitter was purchased for $44 billion in October 2022, rebranded as X. Rebranded as X. That you bought the name Twitter, you moron. And it was a pretty blue. Now it's an ugly black logo. And it makes no fucking sense.
It does when you think about how X is going to give it to you.
Yeah, okay. At the close of 2023, Fidelity Investments firm estimated that X had lost more than 71% of its value under Musk.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
the
excited
other
for these
fun
new
part,
shows.
it's gonna be fun to see Don Lemon they call it community notes. Have you seen these? It was a feature that Elon Musk added to like correct misinformation, and because all the COVID deniers and stuff are like, well, you say the science, but we want to give additional context or all. So they added this feature where like people could say, give additional context to a tweet, but like
Right.
there's all these instances of stuff he says gets like community noted of like, actually this is wrong. Like a famous one was like he said, Twitter actually drives like more traffic to other sites than it actually brings in. And then somebody noted him and they're like, actually no, Twitter's at the bottom of the like Facebook is like 75%, Twitter's like 7%. You're like one of the least. You're a suck in like traffic and don't give out to other groups. So I can't wait till he gets community noted with some stupid stuff that he says. And
Right.
it's like they're too stupid to really know how to have an open forum conversation. Like they say their dumb thing and then people go, no, it's not like that, and then they get mad. That's kind of the cycle.
Right.
So it's like, show your work. Here's the truth.
Right. Well, Don Lemon, congrats. You're back. And we were all begging, and you're back bigger and bolder than ever. Me and all my friends were saying, Don Lemon, God damn it. Where is this guy? Come on. Chris, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let the audience give you a score, but I enjoyed you.
Let me know how I did. Come to chat tonight and let me beat you at poker.
This motherfucker. I hate the way you bet. It's so good. I bet every time you bet against me, I'm like, ugh, I'm on the table with Chris. Love you.
Yeah, say hi in chat. It's so much fun. It really is. KeithandTheGirl.com/chat. Again, like I said, we're there every Wednesday around 8:30, and it's a good time. Poker's free, but
And can I mention, and yes, of course, come Wednesday night, but February 3rd, do you know that we're having a marathon? Chris, you listen fairly regularly,
I
and
will be right there
on the bed
on that little pallet. Yeah, so I can watch with my computer, nap in and out. Literally multiple marathons I've spent it on that pallet. So yeah.
that's awesome. We should make it the party room somehow. I mean, no, I am no longer coming up with new ideas. This is it. So, yeah, but February 3rd, 24 hours of Keith and the Girl. This is my last marathon. I don't know what Keith has planned after this. So make sure this is going to be on our YouTube page. So Keith and the Girl, if you're on YouTube, look for Keith and the Girl, subscribe, be there February 3rd, all the way until February 4th. Ooh, give me a time. Give me a time. Give me a time.
6 p.m. the night of the 3rd.
Okay, 6 p.m. the night of the 3rd. We have Nick Vatterott
Okay.
and Jordan Morris so far. And I might
Okay.
be adding someone in between them as well.
From Jordan Jesse Go. All right. Let me give you another time.
Okay.
That's exciting. I will say I'm on like my second or third re-listen of this most recent KATG Awards, and it killed the clips with the two Nicks,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
kill me every time. Like they are so funny.
they're so
And
fun.
those dudes are just the best. How about 11 a.m.?
11
Like when we're
a.m.
getting close to the end.
Yeah.
And we're loopy as shit, and you hear
Yeah.
everybody's secrets.
Rena Calm, then
Okay.
Dylan Adler.
Oh,
Okay.
he'll bring it
Mhm.
home.
What'd
Yeah.
you say? 6:30 in the morning? Calvin Cato wakes you up.
All right.
Shalewa at 9 a.m. Murph Meyer, 3 goddamn a.m.
All right. Everybody loves Murph.
Megan Keister, 2 fucking a.m.
All right.
There's
Megan's a
so
winner
much.
always.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
All right.
And
I'll do it.
all these times are in Pacific, so don't let Craig confuse you.
Stop it. They're Eastern. Stop it. You know people will get
Eastern.
confused.
I'm sorry.
Eastern.
That was a general flub. Eastern.
Let me bring up this Craig. You know what
Yeah.
story he told us
Oh
today?
boy.
Thank
Okay.
you. I was like, are we gonna not do it?
He goes, everybody's telling me about this chicken place, Raising Cane's. Am I finally going to go to Raising Cane's? Well, I happen to be in a different town I'm not normally at for work, and I see a Raising Cane's, he says. So I'm going to go and check it out. And he goes, I got to tell you, it really is that good. It's the best fucking chicken. First, I get the chicken. And it wasn't well done like I wanted. So I went back to take it back. And I'm like, are you going to be in one of our segments going back to take fast food? And I go, can I get this well done? And I got it from them.
Well done what? Well done
Well
what?
done chicken. Well done fried chicken.
He
What is-
already he's like he knows that Raising Cane's is like one of these southern chicken places, so he's worried that it's gonna be like racist or homophobic or something. And he's still going back because he says he orders his chicken well done. I don't know what that means. It sounds psychotic. Who orders their chicken well done?
You know what? I'm usually on Craig's side because he seems to be a little more logical than when you guys get together. But what is well done? Fried chicken well done?
Yes.
Yes.
Get out of this place. I don't want you in here. And aren't you from the South? What has happened? Well done fried, and you go back and say this is not cooked enough? Oh,
Yeah.
did they
He's
throw it
from
in
the
his face?
Midwest. Can I say that? He's from the Midwest. We don't claim that. And
Apologies.
he also started his whole story with, usually I'm not a fried chicken guy. I was like, you've
Oh.
lost me.
No.
Where are we?
Right.
Who's not a fried chicken person? You got to be vegetarian or vegan or something where you're just not allowed somehow. But like
And
fried chicken, I don't even like chicken. Chicken is the most bland. You got to do so much to it. But you fried chicken, I'm in.
Right.
Who's
So
not in?
So admit he's a fucking weirdo. So then he goes, it was so good. It was so juicy. I love this chicken. I'm creaming in my pants. And then Chris goes, have you had their famous sauce? You know, these places have their own sauce. They have famous sauce too. He's like, no, I didn't even try it. The chicken was so good. Well, if the chicken is so fucking good, you wouldn't even want to try if they got their sauce right a little bit. No, I can't be bothered. That's psychotic behavior.
I told him, I said, I didn't, in my whole life, I didn't think I'd ever have this thought that you could go to a restaurant wrong, but you did today.
That's
Somehow
right.
you
Right.
found the way.
There's so much on the way too. I'm not sure if these people are racist. I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to ask them to redo it as like a just in case. I annoyed your day. You'll annoy some gay people's day. What is going on there?
Right.
And also, does fried chicken always have to be racist or homophobic? What's going on with
It,
fried chicken in the South?
it's
South?
just from the South, and we have a history in case you don't know, but
Tell it to me in Japanese.
you put me on the spot.
Do you know Japanese?
I do, but now I'm having stage fright, so it's like my mind is blanking.
Sure.
But
Why risk it, right?
uh,
All right. Here's what you do. If you're new to Keith and the Girl, take a look around, keithandthegirl.com. Also, all the awards episodes that we've done. We're going on 2 decades of Keith and the Girl. All the awards episodes you can check out, keithandthegirl.com/awards, and we'll talk to you soon. That's it.
All
Aces.
right. All right, you guys, how did Chris do? Just leave your comments and then I won't read them right now, but this way he'll be like, "Oh no, I gotta go check
oh
it."
no, I have
So,
to go to
yeah.
YouTube right now. Oh, I'm so annoyed at myself because I got put on the spot and I haven't spoken Japanese in so long. I was like trying to frantically get there, but
Oh,
it's
that's
tough
okay. It was
when,
a joke that you could have just let pass, but I
well,
get
I'm not
it.
a professional like that, so.
You did so good. I mean, I don't want to lead the witness, but I know secret transmissions. Why am I squinting? I
Because
have
you
these right
refuse to
here.
admit you're blind.
Here we go.
It's called productive struggle in education, Chemda, so I think, it's
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
ooh, as long as there's a title. Um, Blaine chimes in. They have a honey mustard alternative sauce that's really good too. Can I tell you super quick? I was in Long Island. Yes, I was. Hold on. That's one for Long Island. And there was a pizza place that had a Chick-fil-A slice of pizza that you can have. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And they put chicken and I guess some regular other ingredients maybe that you would find in a chicken sandwich. I don't remember. But what makes it Chick-fil-A is they got the sauce from Chick-fil-A and they
Huh?
put it on the slice. And to me, I'm like, of all the things in a pizza place, are you just trying to tell me something?
What do you mean?
No? Yeah, I don't know that you could just resell their sauce and call it Chick-fil-A. I think you're just like, I think Chick-fil-A says something. Like walking around with that bag says something.
I
Every
see.
time, every time I see people standing in line at the New York one, you're saying something. It's when I remember Chick-fil-A the big hubbub of, they close on Sundays because they believe very much in the whole Christian thing, and that also means they're homophobic and a lot of things
Hmm.
that come with Christianity. And entire churches took a picture with a bag of Chick-fil-A saying something. So
Right.
now I just associate that. So now when you're a pizzeria and you're going out of your way to have a Chick-fil-A slice, I feel like you're saying something.
Well, they give it to you and they go, you have 2 slices for the queer? They'll say it like that.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Yeah, our idiot governor in Texas like did a photo op like with Chick-fil-A like on his desk because he
Hmm.
was making a move. I will say I don't know if that place it could just be like a Instagram like, you know, kind of fancy pizza, whatever.
I guess I don't want to just give that to people
Yeah.
because it was a blip in time that they could have completely missed because at this point it was years and years ago that it was big in the news. So now I don't even know if people associate that anymore. It's just me and the taint that it left from that initial big association that they agreed to. Yes, we're homophobic according
Yeah.
to Christian logic, which is a thing. You can't be gay. So, yes. And that makes
And I
sense.
think, yeah, it's like, and they fund a bunch of terrible
Yeah.
things. Like, it's like one
Yeah,
thing to say, this is my belief. Like,
right.
I personally don't really care for people like that either, but I could say, okay, whatever. But if my money's going straight to it,
Right.
like, yeah, like,
Right. That was extra the point. So I'm glad you said that. Yes, yes, yes. So it's extra why I think you're saying something. But I don't know that people pay attention anymore. Anyway, that being said, thank you all for being here live. And thank you, Chris. Best new guest, Catgo Award, the first new guest of the year.
That's
Oh
right.
Lord.
We'll leave it
Some
at
Peter
oh